Hey guys, welcome back once again. So this episode here, what we're going to do is we're just going to build some basic boxes, and what these boxes are going to be used for is Ziploc bags. You've probably seen them online. You can buy a set online, but we're going to build some to show you how you make them. So what we're going to build is 4 boxes. We're going to have a large one here for the gallon, 2 smaller ones. The gallon one is 12 inches long by 4 3/4 wide, and then the smaller boxes will be 4 inches wide by 8 inches long. And then if you can see here on the table, you can stack them different ways. You can stack them like that, or you'll be able to set them like that in your drawer, or you can stand them up on the side, however you're going to use them. So we're going to build these 3 inches tall. That way you can use them. Most of your top drawers are about 4 inches, so we're going to build them 3 inches tall. So what we're going to do is I've just cut down some, you can use whatever kind of wood you want. This is maple. So what I'm going to do is, this here is going to be the top and bottom. So we're going to end up splitting this in half here. But also I'm going to go ahead and cut in a dado on both sides here. And that'll be for my sides. The sides, we're just going to use some 1/4 inch plywood for that. And then we'll end up cutting the top bow out here and then do some engraving here on the end. So we'll get started on this, and appreciate you watching once again, guys. All right, so this is going to be our top and bottom. What we're going to end up doing is, like I said, we're going to split this board in half. We want to cut in dados. I'm going to go ahead and cut the dados in right now before I split it. And what the 2 dados is going to be is this a piece of plywood for our sides. If you can imagine that, you'll kind of see how it happens whenever we split in half. So we're going to leave a piece here. The depth of my blade is the thickness of this piece of plywood here. So you can kind of imagine that. So we just lay the plywood on here, find the high point here. Okay. And so then I left it about the same thickness of the plywood. And this is 1/4 inch, which is just under 1/4 actual thickness. I just left it the same distance away, so that'll leave that much meat left here on the sides at the bottom. Okay, so we'll make these cuts first, and then get more. All right, so you can see our 2 first cuts here. Now what we're going to do is split this in half, and I've already made the cut here to get it in the center. It's going to be a little bit of material left here, you can see it, but I'm going to take, once I get this split in half, I'll take it through the drum sander, and we'll take that down to where this comes off, or maybe run it through the planer. So that'll leave about a little over 1/4 inch for the top and bottom, which will be plenty for these little boxes. So we'll get split in half. So we'll just raise our blade up. I've got it already centered. All right, whenever I'm splitting wood on the table saw, I like to leave that little bitty piece left in there in the middle. Because when you've got that blade that high and you're cutting your wood in half, if it splits on you while you're cutting it in half, I don't know, it just seems a little dangerous. So always leave just a little small piece, and then I'll just take it through the bandsaw and take it off, take the rest of it out. That easy cut in half. All right, so we got it cut in half. Instead of taking down all that extra material here to get down to our dado, what I'm going to do is, I've already got this cut, just set the table saw up, and this time we set it up to where the thickness of this side goes to the outside of the blade, and when we run it through there, we'll get our finished dado around there. And that'll give us a perfect little dado there for our plywood to glue into. So We're just gonna take this, make sure we got the finish or the inside of the box down, and we'll cut that off. All right, so for the box sides, we're just using some 1/4-inch plywood, maple plywood. Cutting the corners at a 45. So I've already got the sides cut, we're cutting the ends. Anytime you're gonna cut a whole bunch of something, always create you a stop block. That way we're just cutting and not have to worry too about measuring everyone. All right, we got all of our pieces cut out now, so we're just gonna do glue up. Just gonna use some painter's tape for clamping. So what we're gonna do is take one of our sides, end piece. All right, and get your joints, your miters real tight, and then just glue. Take one more piece of tape for closing it up, and then all we do is just kind of roll this thing shut, line these up, the final two corners, tape it off. Okay, and then we'll get you some pretty tight and nice joints. Then we'll take a bottom piece, all right, and then we'll just put some glue on it. So, and then this is what will help hold everything square. And then on the top, I'm just going to put it in temporary because I may need to come back and run this to the sander just to make sure it's perfectly flat. But I'm just going to put the top in there temporary just to kind of help hold the box square. All right, we got our boxes all glued up. So next step, we're gonna go ahead and do a round over on the top here. This is safer to do after I get the box glued up because it gives me a lot to hold on to. So that's why I didn't do it before we glued up. So we'll get these rounded over. All right, that completes another project, guys. So basically what these are, just some boxes that you can use for your Ziploc bags. You get them in these little paper boxes like this. So if you want, you can take them out of here, throw this part away, and then put them inside the boxes here. And just kind of gives you a little bit more organization in your drawer, kind of make it look pretty good, whatever you can do. So you can, so these here are 4" by 8. This one here is for gallon. It's 4 3/4 by 12. And so when you do these 4 by 8, you can stack them more, however you want. If you want to do them one long ways, two sideways, however like that. Or you can actually stand them up in your pantry like so. You can do it that way, or if you wish, you can put these on the bottom, maybe your gallon on top. If you want to hold them together, you might be able to put some double-sided tape in there, hold them all together, however you want to do it. So anyway, guys, we appreciate you watching again, and we'll see you on the next one.